and he's been successful. So what can we expect tonight from Biden as he gives his final speech? For more insight, let's bring in Spencer Critchley. He's a managing partner of Boots Road Group, a strategic group that also worked with communications with the Obama campaigns twice over. And he's the author of Patriots of Two Nations, Why Trump Was Inevitable and What Happens Next. Spencer, thank you for being here. First of all, tonight is all about Joe Biden. I'm sure he's thinking this was a long time coming. Does he use it to reintroduce himself, or does he lay out a detailed vision?
You know, I would say actually not quite either of those options. I think he's among the best known people in the country, and with Joe Biden, one of his greatest strengths is what you see is what you get, and people have been seeing Joe Biden for many years now, and they've got a pretty good idea who he is. I also hope and I expect he won't go into too much detail. He needs to project substance, but he really needs to just continue leading with his heart. I think one reason why Biden is the nominee and why he's been effective over the years is that he combines the heart and the head, which is something the Democrats sometimes struggle with. Sometimes they're too much in their heads and they think everything is policy, and they don't realize that really a presidential campaign, actually, as I say in my book, is mythological, not logical. And what people are basically looking for is quite simple. They're looking for a strong leader who clearly cares about them. And I think Joe Biden will probably succeed at projecting that this evening.
Spencer, tonight has an interesting mix of speakers. Andrew Yang, Mike Bloomberg, the Biden children. And the theme is America Promise, right? But I'm wondering, how do you pull that off when one speaker is Bloomberg, a hardcore capitalist, then you have Andrew Yang, who wants to pass out money to every family every month?
Well, this actually, I think, gets to my point about what really works in campaigns, especially presidential campaigns. Voters don't really care as much about policy as those of us who are following this all day, every day care and think they should care. They really only have a few key issues that matter to them most. And essentially, it comes down to that thing I was mentioning about they want a strong leader who cares about them. They'll all have, you know, top of mind concerns like having a good job or preserving their health and not succumbing to a pandemic, for example, and not having the economy collapse. But what really unites people and what really motivates people is values and emotions. And I think the fact that the Democratic Party can welcome people with a wide range of specific policy positions who come from a wide range of backgrounds is one of its greatest strengths, and especially this year when what's really at stake is not any particular partisan issue so much as literally the survival of our democracy, which I think President Obama quite rightly stressed last evening.
You mentioned the singularity of this year. You were a communications consultant with the Obama campaigns, 2008, 2012. How has the messaging game changed at the presidential level just one short decade later?
Well, one of the things that concerned me in the meantime is that Democrats are also pretty good at forgetting stuff they've already learned before. And I think some parts of the party lost track of what was so great about the messaging from the Obama campaign. Obama is another example of a candidate who combines heart and head. Obama was extremely substantive, but he did not weigh you down with long lists of bullet points about policy. He spoke in terms that were inspiring, that tapped into the best values that most of us share. And I think, you know, we got back to being too technocratic and overthinking things, especially in 2016. There were lots of reasons why Hillary Clinton lost, and many of them were beyond her control, but one of them was that, I think, too much of the technocratic approach. Biden, I think, combines the heart and the head, and that's a big reason why Trump got himself impeached, trying to stop him being his opponent.
Yeah, well, Obama's very disciplined. We'll see how disciplined Joe Biden is, not only tonight, but in the coming weeks. We appreciate it. Spencer Critchley, thank you very much for joining us tonight.
My pleasure.
Be sure to stay with us. Live special coverage continuing this evening, the final night of the DNC. Myself and Newsy's whole politics team, we are going to be here tonight, and we're going to be here next week for the Republican National Convention. They're finalizing their plans, but we are getting some hints of what's going to be on that. We'll share that with you in a bit. Our special coverage of tonight, the final night of the DNC, begins at 9 p.m. Eastern right here on Newsy. Next, while Biden prepares for his big night, President Trump visits the former VP's old backyard in person. What he had to say near Biden's birthplace, next.